Hi everyone, in today's video I'm gonna talk about how it feels to lose your only child. And in my case, I am a single mother who lost her only child, so I pretty much lost my entire world, my whole universe. And it is a feeling that I cannot possibly truly explain because there's so many layers, there is so much unwalked territory, let's say, that luckily many people don't have to walk. But if I would try to describe how it feels to have your life turned upside down, to have the feeling as if your heart is ripped out of your chest, to feel that your soul is broken beyond repair, and the hopelessness that comes with it, the loneliness, the desperation, the agony of not having your child in your arms, the longing that somehow will never be filled again because nothing can replace the child that you have lost. It is such an essential part of you that is now gone, and nothing will truly heal it. Nothing can replace it. And the only thing that is left to do is to try to find a way around it and to build something around this pain and to make it into something more positive. And that is a video that I have made recently. How to transform that pain into purpose. But it is a very, very long road because you first start off with a enormous shock to the system. And it hurts you in every fiber of your being. And the amount of pain is so unbearable that you pretty much cannot live or stand to live for another second, let alone a minute. A minute already seems like so far away, like it's something so huge, you don't even know how to survive that. So it comes down to very small steps to survive every second that is coming. And what happens with this tremendous loss is that you lose all sense of self because you were the parent to that child. But if that child is gone, then who are you? And of course, we can all understand that, hey, but before you were maybe a friend or a daughter of someone or a sibling. But being a parent is the most beautiful, deepest, rewarding gift of God. So once you lose the most beautiful gift, life doesn't make sense anymore. So nothing makes sense anymore, and it's not worthwhile. Living is not worthwhile anymore because once you lose such a big part, then what else matters? What does it matter anymore? It just doesn't. So I fully understand how people come into this snowball effect, that it's just getting worse and worse. And in my situation, because I just can't work yet, as in my 9 to 5 previous job, Monday to Friday, I am just not able to do that right now because you're just surviving. And now I'm learning to integrate this new life and this new path that God put me on. So to just work like I did before, I don't even know how I would do that. I cannot comprehend that anymore because that normal life is all over. It doesn't exist anymore. That old self is gone. So what happens then is now I had to sell my car to help pay the bills. And I fully start to understand that how people start snowballing and how that affect, and it gets worse and worse and you start to lose more and more. And I fully understand that the house that I live in now, it's my soul house. I love this house deeply. So I don't want to lose it, but do I have strength to fight to keep the house? I don't, because I need every ounce of strength that I have to keep me not just surviving, but at some point also thriving, because I don't want to live in this kind of pain for the rest of my life. And luckily, I have the insight, the spiritual sensitivity to receive the guidance of God, from the angels of God, and also from my child. And because I have seen this higher and other perspective, and I have felt it, and they have shown me many beautiful things and also the higher purpose of it all. That is pretty much why I am standing, because in this amount of pain, although I love my friends to the fullest, I would not be anywhere without them, and I'm forever grateful for them. And they know who they are, and I love you all so, so much. They also maybe know that they cannot save me in the end, because no matter how hard they try, the pain is so overwhelming, and I am fully alone. This is my household. Luckily, I do have my cat, and yeah, but this is now my household and my life, and it is deeply, deeply lonely. So if I didn't have God and I didn't have this heart on heart connection with Him, then I would not be there, because in those desperate, lonely, horrible, painful nights, it is only this light, this energy force that is God, this strength, His unconditional love, that is the only thing that can catch you and in the end save you and carry you through every day, because you can feel that love, because you are in tune with Him. In the end, it comes down between you and God, that how to pull through this pain, because it is unbearable. So sometimes I also say to my friends, because I have fully realized that sadly losing a child is rare in the Western world, but throughout the whole world, about 5 million children die a year, and it is enormous amount, because every child is one too many. But sadly, that is the world that we live in, and it is a reality. So everybody feels instinctively, if you have children or not, that it is the biggest loss that there is, and it is every parent's worst nightmare to go through something like this, to lose a child. Usually people say when they haven't had that experience that they don't know how they would survive it, that they would just stop living, they don't want to live anymore. And that is a natural instinct, because you cannot bear the thought, but let alone live it. And I'm living it every day. This is my life. And I fully understand that feeling, that sentiment, because I have the same. And because they have shown me as well, the spiritual realm and my daughter have shown me how life is there and how it looks like. It does make it sometimes even more difficult to stay here on earth in my earthly, very unbearable experience, and then to know how it is on the other side. But I also realize, and what they have shown me and taught me, is that there is a purpose to it, and that I'm now on a different path and learning a lot every single day. That things that I would normally have not learned if I would have been living my life before. So there's nothing else to do than just to fully surrender to your higher power, because it is there and it can really save you. And in the meantime, it is going through the motions and going through the darkest of times. And I also say to people that the only thing that I have learned or come to know about what is worse than losing one child is losing two children. Because there are people that have lost two children or even more. Luckily, that is even more rare, because it is so horrendous, it should not even exist. And I know of the singer Nick Cave, who lost two of his children. And he said because he already went through it the first time, when the second time happened, they knew what would come, and they knew the amount of pain that would um, overflow them. So I don't even know how they are doing that, but also he and his wife found a way. And it's mostly in a creative outlet, because creativity is one of the highest forces that is the closest to God, to the light. Just like feeling gratitude is the highest, most powerful vibration that there is gratitude. And also creation, because we are also part of creation, right, as humans. So for us to create something that you also see in many artists, out of tragedies are come the most beautiful art pieces, music pieces, like everything and anything comes out of there. If you can transmute it, right? If you can turn it around and make something of this pain. So worse than losing one child is losing two. And also what is worse than losing a child is a missing child, and that you have no idea where your child is. Because I cannot even comprehend the amount of panic that those parents feel. Because just imagine yourself walking in a park with your child and you lose your child out of sight for maybe 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Those 10 seconds feel like an eternity. The panic that comes to you is enormous and overwhelming, right? I think many parents know that feeling of just losing your child out of sight, right? But the parents that have a missing child and they have no idea where the child is for day in, day out, weeks, months, and years on end, I cannot even comprehend that extra layer of pain that they are experiencing, the unknowing, and just the millions of thoughts that you have in your mind. And for me, the only luck that I have, let's say luck, is that I was there when my daughter passed. I held her in my arms when she passed. She was in her happiest place because we love to be together always. And she was safe, and she is still safe to this day and carried by God in His light. So I know where my child is, I know where her body is, and I know where her soul is. So that is a sense of comfort that I do have. But I also know that there are parents in the world that don't have that. So how they are pulling through, I have no clue. But I wish all those people all the light and strength that they need, because it is unbearable. Yeah, so how does it feel to lose your only child? There's no words for it even. I know that there is in the Sanskrit language and in the Hebrew language, they do have a word for it that describes the event and the feeling that comes from it. But, there is no such thing as being a widow now, or an orphan, or I'm just a single mother that lost her entire world. And I now have to live with this for the rest of my life, coming to her like the anniversary of her passing, but also her birthday, also the day that she got her diagnosis. And I will live like this for the rest of my life. And that is something I also cannot comprehend, that how am I going to do that? But it's a step-by-step thing. And I also just want to give an extra warmth and strength to all the single parents out there that are going through this. I know we are a small group, but I also know the overwhelming feeling of loneliness and desperation, and that you feel that nobody can even understand the slightest of what you're going through, because they all have their own lives and they all grieve your child, and they all grieve also for your pain because they can see it, right? But we, as the parent that lost their child, are living this. Everything has changed forever. There's a before and there's an after, and we can never go back. Although I still sometimes hope and wish. I tell to God, I say, God, I have learned many lessons. I have done a lot of deep healing because everything just broke wide open. And I have healed so many parts of myself, so many shadows I have seen. And I drew closer to you. I fully surrendered to your will. And can I now have my child back? So I still ask God if I can have my child back, but I know it will never happen. So yeah, and that is something you have to live with forever until the day you die, and then you will be together again in the same form as souls. And in the meantime, just trust His plan and know that there is so much more, and that your child is very well and so alive in heaven, in their home, in the spiritual realm, where everybody resides, until they come to this earth. And usually I say we just play the game of life, right? Until we go back. So to all the people going through this, let's try to make the best of this game of life. And one day we will all be reunited with our children. And your child will be so proud of everything you are doing and trying to hold on and keep on going. So, yeah, take care, everyone. And God bless.